And here is the Writer's Almanac for Thursday, June the 13th, 2019. It's the birthday of the novelist and diarist Frances Burney, born in Norfolk, England, 1752. She started keeping a diary when she was 16 years old and kept it up for over 70 years. Her father had some famous friends, so she wrote about them: Dr. Johnson, James Boswell, David Garrick, Sir Joshua Reynolds. She was a lady-in-waiting at the court of King George III and Queen Charlotte, so she wrote about the madness of the king. She married a French general, Alexandre d'Arblay, and thanks to him, she got a close look at the Battle of Waterloo and wrote about that. She also wrote about her own mastectomy, performed without any anesthesia except a single glass of wine. Her first published novel, Evelina, or The History of a Young Lady's Entrance into the World, 1778, a comedy of manners, was a great success, and she succeeded in making novel writing an acceptable thing for women to do, and inspired Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, which came along about 25 years later. It's the birthday of Yeats, William Butler Yeats, born in Dublin, 1865. He grew up in a Protestant family at a time when Ireland was an English colony. Most members of the Irish Protestant upper class were pro-British, but Yeats didn't care about politics. He cared about poetry. He fell in love with a beautiful actress named Maud Gonne, who spoke out for Irish nationalism. She became the love of his life, and it was Maud Gonne who inspired Yeats to try to use his writing as a force for national unity. Came to believe that if he could get in touch with the deep mythic history of the Irish people, he could pull the country together with poetry. He spent years writing plays about Irish nationalism for Maud Gonne, but she married somebody else, and he gave up trying to win her love, gave up on the idea of writing poetry for the collective soul of Ireland, wrote poetry for himself. And about the same time that he stopped trying to use poetry as a political force, he started getting involved in politics and served for 6 years in the Irish Senate. Here's a poem for today by William Butler Yeats, entitled Adam's Curse. We sat together at one summer's end, that beautiful mild woman, your close friend, and you and I, and talked of poetry. I said, a line will take us hours maybe, yet if it does not seem a moment's thought, our stitching and unstitching has been naught. Better go down upon your marrow bones and scrub a kitchen pavement, or break stones like an old pauper in all kinds of weather. For to articulate sweet sounds together is to work harder than all these, and yet be thought an idler by the noisy set of bankers, schoolmasters, and clergymen the martyrs call the world. And thereupon that beautiful mild woman, for whose sake there's many a one shall find out all heartache on finding that her voice is sweet and low, replied, to be born woman is to know, although they do not talk of it at school, that we must labor to be beautiful. I said, it's certain there is no fine thing since Adam's fall, but needs much laboring. There have been lovers who thought love should be so much compounded of high courtesy that they would sigh and quote with learned looks precedents out of beautiful old books. Yet now it seems an idle trade enough. We sat, grown quiet, at the name of love. We saw the last embers of daylight die, and in the trembling blue-green of the sky, a moon, worn as if it had been a shell, washed by time's waters, as they rose and fell about the stars, and broke in days and years. I had a thought for no one's but your ears, that you were beautiful, and that I strove to love you in the old high way of love, that it had all seemed happy, and yet we'd grown as weary-hearted as that hollow moon. A poem by William Butler Yeats from 1902. entitled Adam's Curse. And that's the Writer's Almanac for Thursday, the 13th of June, 2019. Be well, do good work, and keep in touch.